last week we had these superstar shake-up, new people on Raw, new people on SmackDown, but one thing didn't change. Monday nights are still Monday Night Braun.
Yeah.
Because as of last week's statement over Roman Reigns wasn't enough, Braun Strowman had 6 segments on Monday Night Raw this week.
Yeah.
Good
for you, Braun.
He opened Monday Night Raw gloating about the things that he did to Roman Reigns last week, which the crowd was very thankful for.
It incited a Daniel Bryan level yes chant.
Yeah. That's when you know you should probably steer away from Roman being a babyface. But still, Braun was very impressed with what he did. He was looking forward to doing it again this week. But General Manager Kurt Angle had different plans and planned on giving Braun the night off. And Braun's like, you know, Mick Foley tried to do that same shit to me. Where is he now?
Home, probably.
Probably. But he told Kurt Angle that he wanted competition, or else.
And Kurt's like, what is or else? And Braun left.
Yeah. Braun would let us know a little later what...
Obviously, Kurt hasn't been watching Monday Night Raw this year.
Yeah, Kurt, you'll find out. Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho was our opening contest, though. A lot better than their first go-around, because their first go-around was ended in a DQ or something like that real quick, so wasn't as good as it could have been, but this one was much better. A lot more action between the two. We had Seth Rollins on commentary.
You mean the Kingslayer?
Kingslayer, Seth Rollins. We get it. He beat Triple H. He's got a shirt. He's beat one king. One. Unless we're going to have him beat Neville and Booker T and any other King of the Ring there's ever been, he beat Triple H. I like Seth Rollins, and the Kingslayer is a cool nickname.
Tone down a little bit.
Still only one king. Seth obviously scoping out Samoa Joe since they have a match coming up in Payback. Samoa Joe ends up defeating Chris Jericho. Jericho tried to do the Bret Hart pin out of the Coquina Clutch. Was able to get Joe to break it for a second to get out of the pin, but Joe then immediately put the Coquina Clutch back on and made Chris Jericho tap out. Had some words.
The only flaw to that strategy is if they actually are able to kick out.
Yeah, if they do kick out, it's like, well, fuck. Now I'm screwed.
Right back into the hold.
Yeah. But yeah, Joe plans on getting payback for Triple H and Stephanie, and Seth Rollins is like, well, payback's a bitch.
And so is my knee.
Why you gotta bring up the knee, man?
I'm just saying that he wants payback against Samoa Joe for the knee. So he's gonna knee him, probably.
With that new little knee thing he's been doing in Dark Main Events, potentially. We were supposed to have the Club taking on the Golden Truth.
But then Braun
happened. Goldust got sent through a chain link door, and R-Truth just got beat the fuck up.
He got punched in the face and then kicked into a big plastic tub.
Yeah. And then a few guys told Braun to get the hell away. A referee tried to tell Braun that he had the night off, and Braun said, motherfucker, I'll leave when I want to. So instead, we had the Club versus Enzo and Cass, which was the Club versus Enzo and Cass. But the Club did end up defeating Enzo and Cass.
The match, about 3/4 of the way in, took a weird turn.
It was actually going pretty well, and then all of a sudden,
it started feeling really. I don't know if I want to say that it felt like it was turning into a shoot of some sort. Because you had, like, Anderson not wanting there to be a tag happening and actually, like, missed one of his interceptions, which looked awkward.
Yeah, he did, like, usually he does, like, the big flying kick. This time he just kind of, like, underneath Enzo, and Enzo just kind of, like, stopped and then tagged in Cass. It just seemed like they got to a point where like nothing made sense anymore. It was just,
Yeah,
they just kind of did stuff.
I felt like the way he was reacting too, that Carl doesn't like wrestling Cass.
Think there's some heat there or something?
I don't know. I just because the first thing that happened too is when like he picks Carl up. I think he smacks him and Carl feeds into a corner, and then he runs in for an avalanche, and Carl actually turned around and like covered his head up.
Well, Enzo did end up being the legal man. They were trying to go for Air Enzo on Carl Anderson. That was stopped by Gallows, who got booted over the top by Cass. Cass sends himself out. Enzo tries to go for jumping DDT
Again.
but is caught by Carl Anderson and then just dumped knees first onto the top rope. That right there. That just seems like a big old like Carl didn't give a fuck what happened to Enzo at that point. But that drops Enzo. Carl picks up the win
With the tights.
Yeah. Rolled them up, pulled the tights. Club pick up a win over Enzo and Cass. After Dean Ambrose interfered with the Welcome Back to Monday Night Raw last week with Miz and Maurice, Miz invited him on to Miz TV. Miz, this segment works the same way on Raw that it did on SmackDown. It winds up with you on the bad side of a dirty deeds or some sort of attack by Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. This time was a
time.
double leg and some fisticuffs.
After calmly taking everything out of his jacket pocket, folding up his jacket, and then tossing the jacket to Maurice. Yeah. So apparently we're getting Dean Ambrose versus Miz again. Could we do something different with the Intercontinental title?
It's new on Mondays.
Fuck you, Raw. Fuck you. Kalisto would be the next victim for Braun Strowman.
Yeah, we just like get to the back and Braun's already dragging Kalisto's corpse.
We don't know what happened.
Pretty sure he's dead.
Yeah, Kalisto is just moaning and being dragged through the halls of the arena.
And then as Braun is coming into like this big open space, you have all those same guys in suits just standing there waiting. But they don't actually do anything. They just watch in horror as Braun dumps Kalisto into a giant garbage bin.
Yeah.
And he just sinks to the bottom of it.
Yeah, no, Kalisto just fucking disappears. But we had some...
I think this is like Braun was actually trying to leave at this point. He's like walking towards the exit.
Yeah, because there was the bin was there and he's walking. There's like a big shutter door there.
And you can see light coming from that way, so I assume that was like an open door.
So so maybe Braun decided, okay, it's time for me to leave. I've destroyed 3 people now. I'm done for the night.
He's just like, I was just taking the garbage out of my way.
Instead, he gets shoulder checked into the fucking shutter door by Big Show. And Big Show's like, pick out someone your own size. And Braun's just like, alright, that's cool, dude, chill. Like, that ended up being our main event.
The initial shock value facial reaction from Braun looked like he enjoyed it.
Ooh, big boy came to play.
He had some sort of weird fetish face going on.
Well, I mean,
half of Braun's faces are, but...
Braun is...
That's why he normally sticks to just angry faces.
Braun appreciates competition, and
everything, all the other faces Braun make are creepy.
We had T.J. Perkins versus Jack Gallagher. This was a weird segment where everyone just wanted to get involved. There was a special appearance by Neville.
And a specialer appearance by Austin Aries.
Neville decided to take the Enzo and Cass ringside seat, was just a wheelie chair in the wrong place. And Austin Aries set up a steel chair right next to Neville. And Neville scooted his chair all the way at the other side of the ring. Good match between Perkins and Gallagher.
Yeah.
A lot of their best ofs. Nothing out of the ordinary, except for Gallagher's attempt at tackling Perkins through the ropes and then just toe-paying himself to the floor.
That was fun to watch.
Like, Gallagher almost went face first into the floor because Perkins, like, tumbled off the ropes before he even made contact. So, not a great moment for Gallagher. But,
he did dab, however.
He did. He dabbed back at Perkins, and it got a good reaction. And we appreciated it. Because the only time dabbing is okay is when it is in jest or mocking
the person who actually does it.
And it just so happens,
which it did my soul good.
Because you are not a TJ Perkins fan.
Because not a TJ Perkins fan and not a fan of the dab in general.
Yeah, no, I think dabbing is stupid.
So therefore, when Perkins dabbed earlier in the match and people actually booed it,
yeah,
I was like, "Yay, you guys are finally getting it."
Yeah, and then,
dabbing is for assholes.
And then, to have Gallagher do it was it was a feel good moment for the match. But Perkins did end up getting the win. What was it? It was
the Neville and Aries got involved and caused a distraction.
Yeah, because Perkins ended up shoving Gallagher into Aries. Aries jumps up on the apron, and it was like, "What the hell are you doing?" Neville comes up, sweeps the leg out from underneath. Aries drops him on the apron. Gallagher, who had been getting back in the ring, sees this and is distracted. Perkins kicks the rope up into Gallagher's face, hits the detonation kick, and picks up the win over Jack Gallagher.
I think that end spot was written by Kendrick.
Could very well be. We are getting a rematch from last week's Raw between Perkins and Aries tomorrow on 205 Live, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get ourselves a tag team match on the Go Home Raw or 205 Live next week, because it'll be heading into Payback.
Makes sense.
Titus O'Neil tried to get Apollo Crews
to join the Bros group.
Hardys and Cesaro and Sheamus had a fun little tag team promo in the back before we went to a singles match between Jeff Hardy and Cesaro. Jeff didn't really realize what he was getting himself into. It was a rough situation for Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. He was just not having a good time.
It was like, if there was ever a reason for Jeff to reconsider going back to WWE, this was it. We might get one for Matt next week if he ends up having to go against Sheamus.
Yeah.
I think Matt's faced Sheamus before, though.
Maybe.
I think they've actually faced each other on ECW or SmackDown before Matt left the last time or whatever. So I'm sure Matt's not a stranger to facing Sheamus. You know.
But if that's the case, it's been at least 6 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been longer than that. I think Matt's been in TNA. Matt was in TNA in like 2010-ish, I think. Late 2009, something like that. It's been a while. But yeah, Jeff Hardy did end up picking up a win over Cesaro with a twist of fate and a Swanton Bomb, despite being
thrashed about.
Yeah, despite being Cesaro'd all over the ring, Jeff Hardy did pick up the win, and there was a respectful handshake afterwards that Matt seemed very curious about when shaking Sheamus' hand.
Well, I think he was just he breathed a sigh of relief when Sheamus let go.
Yeah.
Because I think he was afraid he was going to get mauled.
We also had a fatal four-way #1 contenders match for the women's championship. Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Mickie James, and Nia Jax all vying to see who's going to face Bayley at Payback. This was good. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. This was another good moment for Nia. Nia got to show her dominance over a few different people. And each of the other girls got a chance to really show off. This was a good starting point for the new overall Raw Women's division, I think. So yeah, everyone got to show a little bit of what they've got. There were a few moments that were a little wonky, but a very clever heel win here for Alexa Bliss. Are you watching a match?
I'm just saying what happens here.
Okay. So Nia is on this tear. She literally keeps like there's moments where everyone has to like take her out because she is the most dominant force in the match. And we have Sasha and Mickey heading up to the top rope. Nia ends up getting in, stopping whatever type of suplex thing was going to happen, has Sasha up on her shoulders, and checks Mickey James off of the top rope, walks to the middle of the ring, hits a Samoan drop on Sasha Banks, and as she's going for the pin, Alexa Bliss gets back in the ring, drop kicks Nia Jax out of the ring, and picks up the heel win over Sasha Banks. So Alexa Bliss will be getting the next shot against Bayley at Payback for the Women's Championship. Nia was none too happy. Both Sasha and Mickey were just knocked out, but Alexa Bliss is getting the shot. Did we get a lot? We didn't get a lot of Alexa Bliss versus Bayley in NXT, did we?
No.
Got a very short feud out of the two of them.
Most of the time, while Bayley was being Bayley on NXT, Bliss was managing Blake and Murphy.
Right. So this is something new. This is something we didn't get a whole lot of on NXT. So this should be.
I think Bayley defended her title against Alexa once.
Yeah. So this should be fun to watch. This should be something new for the women's division, which is exciting. Boy, would you believe it if I told you Finn Balor beat Kurt Hawkins?
You mean what really happened was that Finn Balor graduated from Kurt Hawkins' Star Factory.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Facts.
It took about 20 seconds for Kurt Hawkins to lose to Finn Balor. I'm just glad that Finn Balor wasn't kept off TV due to a concussion because of fucking Jinder Mahal. Not that he
did not fuck Jinder Mahal so hard he got a concussion.
I need to learn phrasing. I'll work on that.
Oxford commas are important.
Yes. Mike Tom needs to learn his name. He almost made the list.
But you know who didn't make the list? The Daffy Drifting Dandy.
This segment was hilarious. Jericho just going on this babyface, ridiculous Jericho promo, talking to the new. Apparently, his name is Mike.
Yeah.
But we don't know his last name. He thought he was Tom, and it's just this whole like, oh, I spent all this time learning your name, and now you tell me your name is Mike. It was just a hilarious bit by Jericho. But we had already seen Elias Sampson earlier because the club had walked by him. And so he just kind of wanders into this segment while Mike Tom is about to be put on the list. And he goes, scratch that, you get a pass. And then he put Elias Sampson on the list. And it was just Jericho talking about how he's looking forward to winning the United States title back and potentially going to SmackDown.
Yeah.
So, we also had Bray Wyatt do kind of a little hype video for House of Horrors. Pretty much just telling Randy all the different...
It's way different than a hype video for a House of Horrors.
Way different. Because if this was for a House of Horrors, I don't want to go there. It looked very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So he pretty much just told all the different things that Randy's going to experience and all the different things that he's going to do to Randy. And apparently he's going to take him up to heaven and then drop him back down into the abyss. And I just feel
Abyss will black hole slam Randy Orton.
Bro, I might freak out if Abyss shows up at Payback.
I mean, it was a Bray Wyatt promo set to a great montage of the best horror and gothic themed stock art.
A lot of stock art, stock footage.
Clips of things on fire.
Yeah.
So, I think needless to say, fire is going to be involved somehow inside or outside of the House of Horrors match.
Yeah, whatever.
They also referred to, like, chains. He made a reference to a cage. He made a reference to torture. He made a reference to the dark. He made a reference to a lot of different things. So this could be the most gimmicky match since the frickin' Chamber of Death, whatever they called it in WCW, when they had coffins and all sorts of weapons, and the electric chair came down. And
when Abdul the Butcher got electrocuted by Cactus Jack. Yeah. Yeah.
Could be that.
Could be that. We're hoping it's not that.
Could be good. But it could be that.
It could be that. I feel like they missed a great opportunity that, Randy Orton claimed to have burned down the Wyatt compound. But if anyone watched had ever seen the Wyatt compound, there were 3 different buildings on the entire property. So there was the one building that Randy burned down, which obviously could have been the resting place of Sister Abigail. That's one thing. But there was a whole fucking house that they lived in. They didn't live in a fucking barn. They lived in a house. And so you could have had this match in the house. You could have literally, it's going to be in the house. You could have had WWE's okay, the Wyatts are allowing us to set up cameras in the house.
Essentially a pseudo the New Day versus the Wyatts at the compound.
Something like that, but I think it would have been cool.
But in a one-on-one scenario, you can actually have that in a house, indoors.
Yeah.
Essentially, 6 guys and trying to put them inside a building would be a lot more chaotic.
Yeah. You're not going to
give them a big open field.
Yeah, and that made sense. But I feel like you could have strategically put in cameras. You could have had one really ballsy camera guy that was going to follow them around as they fought through this house, and it would have been Bray Wyatt.
The house would be full of fire and chains and snakes and darkness.
And sheeple.
It's a lumberjack match.
Sheeple carrying chains while being on fire.
The whole house is just surrounded by sheeple. It's a lumberjack match.
I think that
it's a cage made of people in sheep masks.
There's a cage made of sheeple and chains that's on fire that is around the entire house.
Yeah.
Covered
in snakes.
Covered in fucking snakes.
Emitting darkness. Somehow the cage just shoots anti-light into the match.
Don't make this match suck. Please. Please don't make this match suck. Please. Please.
It's really up to Bray and Randy.
Please.
How hard they're willing to work to make
Bray,
sure.
Randy, we know you're watching. You're 2 followers every week.
I know, Bray leaves all the comments.
Bray, I'm wearing your shirt. Come on.
Randy, your name is Randy.
You're a fucking snake. Don't ruin this. Please.
This is the issue when you go down the rabbit hole of gimmicky matches. Punjabi prison match. Kettle from Hell.
Don't be those.
Could be up there, right up there with the House of Horrors.
You
match.
don't want
to. What if they were the cage music starts and they just drop a house on top of the ring?
Like a whole fucking house?
Yeah. It'd be a small house because it has to fit in the barricade area, but if they put a house.
I mean, that's still
or on the ring.
It's still a pretty decent. You could probably fit a house around the ring.
It'd be a really small house, but 1 bedroom, kitchen, 1 bathroom, and a porch.
Simple House of Horrors. I don't know.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. The giant talking plant that eats whoever loses.
Special referee, Brutus Beefcake.
Sure.
The Little Barber Shop of Horrors match.
All right. Emma is a liar. She got Dana in trouble with Alicia Fox.
Which this didn't seem to lead into anything.
It's more reason for Dana and Emma to feud.
I know, but like,
This
at least seemed like it was gonna end up with like Alicia Fox versus Dana Brooke, like in a match. Maybe I guess on what other shows do they have left? Superstars, right? Or is it Main Event? Which one's still actually going?
Main Event is still going.
Main Event might be on Main Event.
Maybe.
But
we don't watch Main Event anymore, so we don't know. And then before heading into his main event, we had Braun one more time spilling the cheese and crackers of one man beast Rhino. This was Mike Tom was like, hey, guess what? R-Truth, Goldust, and Kalisto are fucked up in the trainer's room. And Heath Slater and Rhino went, we don't give a fuck, we're on Monday Night Raw. And Braun said, I don't give a fuck, this is Monday Night Braun. And just kind of barreled past Heath Slater and Rhino. And went to the ring to face the Big Show. And I wouldn't say... Okay, knowing how good they did last time, how would you compare this match to the last time they faced each other?
I'll give it a little more credit.
Really?
Yeah. They had more time.
True.
And I think
they got a good solid 15 or so minutes on this match.
Yeah,
so.
I mean they had more time, and I think they put in just every bit as much of effort as they did the first time.
There was a lot more. There was a lot more like wrestling.
Yeah.
There was the shock value of the first one where they like legitimately wrestled. This one they still did that, but this was more of I don't know. They threw drop kicks. They both threw drop kicks. They both threw arm drags. They both tried to slam each other.
Big Show slammed Braun. Braun suplexed Big Show.
I really like watching these two face each other.
Fortunately, it might end up being the death of Big Show if they keep it up.
Well, Big Show said he's only got about a year left. Let's build up WrestleMania 34. We have the final encounter between Big Show and Braun Strowman. That can be Big Show's last match. A big fucking barn burner of a match against Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. Give them 20 minutes. Let them fucking go. Because if this and their first match is any indication, they can fucking do it. The fact that you have someone that can do this stuff to Big Show is impressive. You don't get people that can do this on a regular basis. The only other person you've ever had really was Brock.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else has been able to... I mean, you could say Mark Henry can manhandle Big Show, but not as well as Brock and Braun.
No.
Completely different, because Brock and Braun can, like, move with it.
Yeah.
You know, Mark is very... bleh, he's very wide. So there's only so much he can do. But...
He has to lean with it.
Rock with it.
Brock and Braun can move with it.
So, needless to say, once again, we enjoyed the match.
God, I just had the most terrifying image in my head of Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman as a tag team. Their finishing moves, they just tear their opponent in half. And then eat the halves.
You put them together, you get Goro from Mortal Kombat.
Maybe. The giant penis tattoo.
Yes. Except the head of the penis is Brock Lesnar's head. Because he's a
It's
dick.
hidden by Braun's beard.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, it was just fucking, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been entertained by giant dudes that can just beat the shit out of each other. But they fucking do it. And it's fun to watch. And they top themselves this time, too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it was about halfway through the show that you realized, hey, we don't have the stupid LED boards around the posts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the posts are about a third as big as they normally are.
Yeah, and then as the match went, it was there goes one staircase, there goes the other staircase. We had 3 different times where
they teased
the big suplex. And then it finally fucking happened, and we got our fucking ring cave in that is, this is the third time that it's happened, and I remember being upset when they did it with Mark Henry, because I felt like it should have been a Brock exclusive. But at this point, I don't give a fuck what happens to Brock's career. And I think Braun took it in fucking stride. And Braun fucking got up and walked away like it was fucking nothing.
Yeah.
He did hold his back for a second. But, like...
He yelled, and that put a lot of strain on him.
Really...
After having this match with the Big Show, which probably puts a strain on a human body. He got slammed by Big Show, he got knockout punched, he got freaking choke slammed.
Yeah. Big Show ran the gamut on him.
That last scream was cool, but at the same time, you just let it rest a little bit, man.
He did do it again up at the top of the ramp, though, while Big Show was still laid out in the ring.
Yeah. There's video on Facebook and Instagram of Big Show getting up post-show, watching his gingerly exit the broken ring.
Yeah. Referee took a fucking tumble because
he did not gingerly exit the broken ring.
He decided to get near the ropes.
Yeah, he's like, let me hold on to the ropes right before the ring collapses.
Moron.
The whole thing is the ropes are not going to be there in a second.
Yeah, the whole thing is going to be on the fucking floor,
including the ref,
including the referee, and that was just fun to watch because.
I love that one set of the stairs got flipped.
Yeah, no, that one corner, the stairs got knocked away. It brought up one of the pads on the outside. It was just the crowd was fucking hyped for it too. Every time it happened, they got up and oh, it didn't happen. And then it would start to build up again. Oh, it didn't happen. And then it finally happened. They fucking lost their shit. And yeah, no, it was good. It's a great moment for Braun. And I want more. I want more Braun versus Big Show. But no, we're getting Braun versus Roman Reigns at fucking Payback.
Yay, I guess.
That means keep Roman Reigns off TV until Payback.
The opening of next Raw is going to go...
I know!
But
that doesn't... It doesn't change the fact that I don't want that to... Doesn't change the fact God damn it. I knew he was going to do it. It doesn't change the fact that I don't want it to happen. But...
Good job, Raw.
Good job, Braun.
Not a bad show all around.
A couple of matches I could have done without, but that's cool.
A couple of Enzo and Kaz I could have done without, but that's cool.
But you made up for it with 6 segments of Braun, and it's all.
6 degrees of separation is how Braun beats people.
I'm gonna be real. A year and a half ago, I wouldn't have said, "Man, I want 6 segments of Braun Strowman," but boy, do I love 6 segments of Braun Strowman nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, at this time last year, I would have groaned if Braun Strowman was opening the show.
Yeah. Let alone being on the show more than once or twice.
I nearly stood up and applauded him during his opening promo.
He was talking about how he destroyed Roman Reigns. It's kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
But, yeah, good job, Monday Night Raw. Keeping up.
Not sucking yet.
It's nice to enjoy Raw again. Don't fuck it up. Of course, next week you'll have Roman Reigns come back, and then you're going into a pay-per-view where things could potentially be completely fucked. But... as of right now, you're doing all right. But for now, guys, thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Click the links. Check out the podcast. Head over to Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
I'm not Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
You are right now. Look at the video. Let's blow you.
What?
If you click that, you can go to the newest video from Reasonable Wrestling Fans. Or you can click this one, which is the... last video in this particular playlist, which is our indie news. Cool little feature. Or you can click this button here, and you can actually subscribe to the Wrestling Rundown.
Yeah, if you're not already subscribed.
Which you should be.
If you're not, I'm disappointed in you. You can make up for it by clicking that thing.
But I'm going to say again, you should go to Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
With a W. Reasonable with a W. Like wrestling. There's lots of W's in this thing. There's 2.
It's a line you say
It's
every week. And you fucked it up.
WWF. You get it?
No, it's W2F, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't want to get sued. Anyway.
Yeah, them pandas are bad.
I know, sons of bitches. They have
Badass
chairs.
pandas.
Have you seen those
Yeah.
shirts? They have chairs.
By God.
Terrifying. No, go over there, check out all the other videos that we're posting. We've got a brand new Fantasy Warfare and a Hawktail Hour coming this week. A brand new What Colt's Wondering videos coming up this week. So look forward to all that stuff. Check out the stuff we have over there right now. A couple of other episodes that we've already put up of all of those shows. What other stuff do you want to see us post over there? Comment over there, comment down below, get a hold of us on social media. Let us know what you want to see. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you, whatever video you decide to watch next. One of these ones.
Fuck Titus O'Neil.
Fuck Roman Reigns. We love Braun Strowman.